1 minute to the top of the hour, still driving your business, your daily kickstart. Here, Smart Men's Business as we deliver to you. If that is the business information, both local and international at the same time. And of course, before we get into any further discussions, as we preparing to get into our insight, why don't you trade on Zabu? That is a platform from Altex. We just made your trading experience on stocks much more easy. Star 292 hash is the USSD code, which will lead you to quite lots of options where you can choose to buy government bonds and securities for as little as 15,000. You get insurance, but you can invest more than that depending on what you really want to. That's just the minimum requirement. Well, the markets open at 8:15 a.m. closing at 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, Monday to Friday, except on the weekends and the public holidays when the markets are not in operation. But you have the rest of the days to capitalize and make quite huge profits, which could be very key and vital to cover up the trade gaps, just in case they didn't really go well for you. You can use this as a side hustle for you. Zabu made this a reality. Zabu says, my money, my future, and Altex East Africa. Do something new. Now heading straight into our business insight here. Of course, it's on a report on the status of the roads in Kampala. Of course, we see that the drainage system has no money in the budget. No amounts of funds allocated for the drainage, and also more funding should be given to KCCA, of course, for road maintenance. Of course, that was yesterday, a day before yesterday, the members of parliament were granted a chance to really move out there on ground and take a look at what an average Ugandan goes through when riding down on the roads in Kampala city. And of course, what they found out was quite very devastating. Probably something they couldn't witness because of being driven in cars with quite very stable shock absorbers. Those sports utility vehicles which don't really fill the potholes. But the reality is that an average Ugandan really faces it rough on a daily basis, most especially those that use the public vehicles like the taxis in there. Now, of course, after going on ground yesterday, they had to present their discoveries in the field and what's the way forward. But then the most important aspect in here, we need to also find out what are the reactions from their observations. Well, let's get into this discussion real quick. I'll be returning for further analysis.
Contractors for road elements repairs want to call out sectional repairs because some areas have gone beyond that. Even if you can't punch a pothole, you'll be like putting a punch on again on another punch, which is no longer sustainable. So we are going to do section repairs in areas covering an estimated 33,750 square meters on 37 critical paved roads, which are severely depleted. And the proposed schedule of roads where this intervention has been proposed is herewith attached.
I read the team. People insulted us because they thought we had come to just laugh at them. They scored us thieves who earn a lot of money and don't care about the roads. The roads are in a dire state, bad state. We went all over Kampala, all the regions we visited. I can tell you, we need to go back on the drawing board currently. It doesn't require Kampala City Council alone. No. Minister of Works, Minister of Finance, and the Sector Committee of Presidency to sit down and we go back to see how we can improve our city. It is embarrassing to find that there is a big pothole, a wreck on 7th Street. There are no roads in Kampala, I can tell you, because of one simple thing. Because we punished road fund, refused to give them money for road maintenance. Because when you give money to Uganda Road Fund, the biggest share, 60%, goes to UNRA. 25% goes to KCCA. The rest goes to the district. If we don't make Kampala our mirror, where else do we want to go? I can tell you, right honorable Speaker, some of us move around out of Kampala. But if it wasn't for Honorable Nsereko to come in and cool the situation, even the minibuses would have been banned. It is as bad as that in Kampala. Get out of Kampala and see for yourselves. We are moving in good cars, but one of these days, take a walk and go down the old taxi park and see. It's no longer Kampala we used to see. This is really, I think potholes have come from the villages and come to Kampala. So I appeal to,
just conclude, Honorable.
I appeal to Honorable Speaker and members. Since we haven't finished the budgeting process, let's go back on the drawing board to ensure that a certain big portion is directed to Kampala city so that we can maintain these roads to a more tolerable situation, including Mukono and Wakiso.
Is that if you want to tour and find potholes in the world, go to Kampala. You've seen it all over social media now in the world. It's very embarrassing. So I'm glad that this August House has sat here in the presence of Honorable Musasizi. We were here during the other budgetary session, and I want him to bear this House witness. I stood up and I showed you the figures of the money you had allocated to this capital city. And I told everyone that, one, you work in this capital, or most of us live here. The seat of the legislature is here, and that means all of us must come here to occupy our offices, even if we reside outside. The president operates in Nakasero, plot number 1 there. And all his guests are nearly hosted there or at State House in Entebbe. But look at what picture this capital city and the state in which it is. No lights, poor drainage, and poor roads. I remember putting you to task when you are bringing the supplementary on State House. And I told you, State House is occupied by less than 100 people, but it's enjoying nearly 1 trillion shillings. The capital city and the roads and the infrastructure is being enjoyed or is being used by more than 7 million people on a daily basis. And what you had as a release in the first quarter as capital development was less than 12 billion shillings. How do you explain that to the people of this country, that you're here asking for a supplement? And when we talk about equity, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, where is the equity? How do we explain to the taxpayers who only relate with us, the leaders? Because these people never meet the president. The most immediate person who has the mandate to legislate over the budgetary principles of money allocation as to whether they pay taxes or as to whether money is expended on them is their member of parliament. And whenever you meet people, you feel shy, you feel embarrassed. Whenever you drive through the cities, because we stay in these constituencies, and people pass you and do this, Honorable, what exactly are we witnessing? The good thing is that we warned. You didn't pay heed to our calls. Today, Right Honorable Speaker, in the budget allocations that we are planning, there is 0 for drainage. Big shame. Why are these roads being washed away? It's because of the heavy run of water. For as long as you don't allocate money for drainage, even if you make as many roads, they will be washed away. Because Uganda is at the equator, it receives tremendous amounts of rains in millimeters every year. And that is why the roads are being washed away. We have heavy traffic and heavy rains. And we are in the hills and the valleys. At the end of the day, it is simple logic. If you do not cover the drainage, and given the huge amounts of traffic, the roads will be washed away. Finally, the Honorable Minister was talking about the old roads. It's a fact. But we are the only capital city that does not have a functional railway. We all said that most of the people move from Wakiso. How do they come to the city? So there is a huge pressure on the roads, either for goods and the people. Look at the tonnage of the trailers that enter the city. Over 25 tons that enter and offload within the city.
It's a matter beyond KCCA. It's also a matter that covers Kampala Metropolitan, especially Wakiso area and Mukono. And because when you're being welcomed, and most of us, by the way, don't stay in Kampala city. Most of us stay outside. And the image we really give is not a good one. But I'm happy this has been taken up. This has been taken up,
And for those who are interpreting it negatively, in the end, Honourable Minister, this will benefit you. Because it has brought out issues which we are just taking for granted. So, you know, we should take opportunity of this and ensure that indeed we move seriously.
That we are in the process of received 6 billion towards pothole repair, but at the look at things, it may not be enough, but also work has started, and as I'm speaking now, Yusuf Lule Road has been punched, so we are moving gradually using the funds. Right, Honorable Speaker, on the other issue of the drainage and then external funding, I'm happy to inform you that Parliament appropriated and approved funds from ADB, where we are going to improve 85 kilometers of roads in the city, and at this amount, out of the component, we shall use $258 million. I did compute this into Uganda shillings, but the roads have been lotted into 5 roads. Road 1 and Road 2, its effective date of commencement is 5th December 2022, shall require an estimated funding annually of Uganda shillings 800 billion over the next 10 years, which I talked about in our drainage master plan and the Kampala development plan. This should be supplemented with an estimated average of 40 billion Uganda shillings annually from Uganda Road Fund to meet the city's roads and drainage maintenance needs.
Well, that's a report by Parliament regarding their findings on the roads, which were quite in a very bad state. It's very interesting how, you know, if you travel, I mean, I'm trying to ask myself, was it the first time they are discovering this, that actually there are people living life, traveling like this January to December, and it seems like business as usual. Well, now I'm joined with Haniffa on site to have a discussion regarding this report. Of course, she was there when the report was being presented before the Parliament. Very good morning, Haniffa, and very welcome on Smart Men's Business. Happy to have you.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for inviting me. Good morning.
Very welcome. All right, now, first give us a hint before we even get into any deeper discussions here about this report. And, the biggest question here is that the members of Parliament are experiencing, this is a report they could have written a year ago, 5 years ago, because our roads are the same 5 years ago, even 10 years ago, they are the same actually.
Actually, for Parliament to ask for this report, it was terrible.
Okay.
Even before the rains came in, the roads are bad, the potholes. You sit in a car, they hit you.
I know, and you just...
people pass, they distract business, when it rains, it is worse.
Worse, even congestion. Huh?
Actually, the speaker asked for this report a long time ago.
Okay.
The minister came and they asked her, the minister for Kampala, tell us how much, because we appropriated money through African Development Bank.
I remember last year.
Yes, Parliament appropriated that money, 400 something
I remember
billion.
Last year.
We appropriated this money, even the World Bank, gave money to Uganda
for road maintenance.
KCCA. For road maintenance. Where are the roads that you've worked on? Yesterday, the minister presented some of the roads that they have worked on, and most of the roads are in Akawa, Kawempe, in the suburbs of the towns. But we are talking about the city. We have visitors. There's a conference that is soon happening in December. The NAM conference that is supposed to be in Munyonyo. We are expecting over 400 visitors
from all over the world.
To come and discuss whatever business things.
Yeah.
But then it is this. They're going to. where are they going to pass through?
We need to go back on the drawing board.
They use the roads. They use the roads. And you know, people want to visit Uganda. It is the Pearl of Africa.
Definitely.
They would be interested in visiting the city. I want to check the city.
The city of you, the capital city of the Pearl of Africa.
Of the Pearl of Africa. Leave along visit. Of course, others would be interested in visiting the national
other parks,
because they want to see the chimpanzees, the monkeys. But some people are interested in the city.
Very true.
Let's check out Kampala city. This is a very small country. We see how they do their planning of the city.
Exactly.
The planning.
And of course people have expectations.
Exactly.
You know.
And people find, I don't know, flooding,
Actually,
should I call it sewage? Sewage were coming then. There are some parts of Kampala that stink.
True.
That stink from January to December.
Yeah, December. And you wonder whether you're in the city center.
Why in the city center? The place stinks. Like there's a place there in Golo, as you're going to Golobi.
Yes, yes.
Industrial.
I know. Yes, I know that.
That place has never been like
smelling fresh.
It has never had a fresh
smell.
Exactly. And what is the problem? This money, we have appropriated money. What have you done? What has this money done? You find that what KCCA is doing currently is patching
just patching.
Just patching.
Actually, I've seen some of the patch routes, like Bakuli there. I saw some patch, but sometimes I pass by and I'm seeing they're all swept away. Then I'm saying, really?
Just 2 weeks. Give them 2 weeks.
Actually, even heavy rainfalls in 2 days.
And actually, even the deputy ED of KCCA, he admitted that while we do this work, patching, yes, but it only takes what? 2 weeks for these things to be washed away. What we have patched is going to be washed away, and then the thing will go big. Some people are even calling it lakes in Kampala.
Like somebody actually said, maybe somebody comes and
the gentleman admitted that the roads we have in the city, they have outlived their duration.
Yeah,
a road is supposed to take 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
The ones we have in Kampala are over 40, 60 years.
Yeah.
This is too much for them. They need help. They need money, and the budget that is allocated to KCCA cannot be enough for them to do their mandate as well as rehabilitate these roads. It is a joint effort that is needed. Parliament has tried to get in. Parliament is calling upon Ministry of Works. It is calling upon the Committee on the Presidential Affairs. UNRA, everyone sit on the table. Let us plan for our city. This is the capital city of our nation. This is the city that holds so many people. Yeah, the planning of the city. Exactly, businesses of people.
Yeah.
These potholes, these sewage, they hinder business. The cost of doing business in Kampala is becoming so high because of certain things that need to be dealt with.
Actually, some people even cater for that when they're charging your price. They'll tell you know what, there are potholes here and they will damage my car. I have to service this vehicle.
Exactly.
So they're going to charge you the price. You the person whom they are helping you deliver.
No, really. Actually, the burden all goes to the trader. Because you have to repair your car at the end of the day. You sit in jam. Sitting in jam alone, because it is costing you business already.
You're losing money.
Your people are like your customers are leaving.
Absolutely,
they are waiting for you. They are not seeing you. The jam is the potholes. Sir Apollo Kagwa. We went with the committee through Sir Apollo Kagwa.
That connects there. You slope as
It's beyond patching. It cannot be patched.
That one has to be repaired.
And that is even what KCCA is doing. You cannot patch certain roads now. The certain roads just need to be
wash away and start afresh.
Start afresh. Work on something new. This is our city, but of course. They have done a good job working on the other suburbs. But the city, people go through the city. There's a pothole around Mulago area where there's this church of Pastor something, it's a Pastor Kakandi.
Yeah, you know that Kubidi.
Yeah, Kubidi there. There are big potholes that stop cars. You may think someone big is passing.
They're dodging a pothole.
Exactly, people are dodging potholes. Border borders for them, they ride recklessly. Very true. And it is they are risking people's lives. Going through the corners of trying to escape those potholes. They are so huge. I think these things are the ones that cause some accidents. By the way, they are
a bigger percentage.
A bigger percentage. The road, this Chengera Busega road. The road developed those potholes on the sides. I remember the borders used the side.
Exactly.
And if a border hits, the road is narrow. If a border hits a pothole, it is definitely going to throw itself in there. Yeah, and then accidents. So many accidents are happening on that road because of those potholes.
Actually, even this route, Masanafu. First of all, the road, it's not only has potholes, but it's too small.
It is too small, it is too narrow. And you find that huge cars
competing.
The problem we have here is heavy cars, small, whatever, carrying whatever.
On the same road.
All use the same roads. Perfect. You find that the countries that are
developed,
that have planned
very well,
even developed, that have planned well. Certain cars use certain routes.
Yes.
I've been to Tanzania. I've seen it. Certain cars use certain routes. A route that is carrying these heavy
trucks
is different from the one that carries the small ones. You find that there is no jam, first of all, and there's proper. The order is
so excellent.
So excellent, and you even enjoy traveling on the roads.
Okay.
But here, Uganda, first of all, people have cars. Ugandans have cars.
People are buying cars every other day.
People are buying cars. These are the roads, and they're putting a lot of pressure on the roads, which are even outdated.
The road system is not expanding, but the traffic on it is increasing. The number of roads.
And everyone wants to go to Kampala because that is where their businesses are. You see the buses. The buses use the very roads that those buses are heavy.
And the funny thing is that you see now as when it goes through that hole, it's making it deeper.
Exactly.
Every day.
The pressure they put on that road. You feel sorry for these roads as well because they have tried. They have tried actually. They have tried. And what the members on the physical infrastructure committee are suggesting is right. It is not only KCCA because KCCA has not failed, but
because
the matter it is too much on them.
Okay.
It is beyond them now. It is beyond their capacity.
Yeah.
Because looking at the allocation that is given to them, it is small. They have to do this. They have to do that. Repairing the road costs something else. So they have to sit down. They have to plan. This money has been passed.
Yes.
Who should take on this? Who should take on this? Who should take on that? So that we can have a proper city. But we cannot have that in our city. Even that houses so many businesses.
So many businesses. And even that portrays out what Kampala City Council Authority goes through in terms of operation. But also the Kampala City Council has been through, before the consensus sometime, over some issues of billions of money spent on chairs. They're being questioned. What kinds of chairs? I look through all these and you try to relate.
All entities have had issues of corruption, and the president has come out strong on this one. He has started with the office of the prime minister exposing the ministers in the Iron Sheet Saga. Perhaps you will come to KCCA as well, because everyone complains there's a lot of money in KCCA. KCCA says there's no money. Who is taking the money?
Who's taking the money? That's the question.
Exactly. Who is taking the money? You find that a kilometer of a road has costed 5 billion shillings.
5 billion?
5 billion shillings. Wow. And the president directed they be given 6 billion. If a kilometer,
so they're going to only work on 1 kilometer and a half.
The minister said this 6 billion, yes, we welcome it, but it is not enough. We are patching holes. that are going to be washed away. In 2 weeks' time. In 2 weeks' time. Why do we have to patch? We need to make something that is permanent, that is going to take time. Yeah, we need that. I'm telling you, me, I've been to countries, neighboring countries. There's nothing like corruption. If the money is appropriated for a road, it's
meant to be for the road.
And if it develops patches or if it develops potholes, then the people who are concerned, the people are responsible, must answer.
Why
you give accountability. Why are we having potholes on a road that was given
Absolutely
money?
True.
Yeah, that is what we need to better up our city. Otherwise, the situation is
getting worse.
It is terrible, and our roads are in a dire state that really need help.
I see. Of course, still on this discussion regarding the report presented in Parliament regarding the budget for the roads. Now, the committee carried out a sample of selected roads. Some of the lists here in the report. There is the 60th Street. That's industrial area, Namawongo, Muyenga Tank Hill, St. Barnabas Road, Kabala Galan Sambia Road, Queensway, Rashid, Kamis Road, St. Baliku Dembe, the Bumbo Road, Saapolo Kagwa, Nakulabye, Nanirembe Road, the Balintuma Road, and quite so many, Naguru Kampala Parents, and of course Naguru Nakawa. At the same time, the roads which need quite to be maintained positively. Of course, the works are already going on. Some holes are being patched, but of course, as the KCCA directors say that it's very, very uncertain and it's not realistic because in 2 weeks it's going to be washed away. Yesterday, the member that's Muhammad Nsereko, the MP for Kampala Central, mentioned something that this city is underfunded in terms of the taxes that the city produces and what is given back to the city. It's not fair. And me, that was the icebreaker of all that.
Exactly.
Putting even aside Kampala City Council Authority, but the taxes, because money shouldn't be appropriated. Money shouldn't be. Why should we wait for third-party donors? Yet there is money that comes out within that can fund it under allocation and undermining the city. And that's according to Muhammad Nsereko. And I think he had a point.
He's right.
Yeah, he had a point.
Being the MP area, and he knows the problems of his people. And all of us know, people who work in Kampala, they pay a lot of taxes.
Lots of license, you have to pay this. But now the question is, where does this all go?
That's a question I should ask. You should ask government. The authorities, the authority, KCCA, and
Kampala City Council Authority,
and other regulators.
Okay. Well, 26 minutes past 9, and now let's get into a short commercial break. Definitely, we shall be returning with further discussions, and still Kampala downtown issue still there, because in our on-ground discussions we shall still be having a talk regarding flooding in Kampala. Against flooding. And of course, the business people are being affected heavily in town. Well, summing up all this, what does it paint a picture? Planning for the city is a bigger way than maintaining an already established entity in a wrong place. Let's get into a break. We shall be coming with these discussions.
Smart 24.